All right. Good night. Thanks for being here. Let's have a good time together. Let's learn something together. You all right? Okay. All right. Let me start off with telling y'all a story tonight. Okay. Some of this is true. Some of this is speculation. I want to do a comparison here, or a contrast, rather, of two lives. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna show you how important our decisions that we make are, because they have future consequences. Y'all understand that, I'm sure. Okay, so let's say that we have two baby girls that are born. Okay, both unfortunately by C-section delivery. We'll call one Sally, and we'll call one Faith. Okay. So Sally's born, both born in a hospital, okay? Sally's born C-section, just like Faith, in the hospital setting. But Sally, before she leaves, her parents decide to have her vaccinated. She has a vaccine. You know, they always give the vaccines there at the beginning, right? Then she goes home, and Sally's parents don't know anything about chiropractic. And they never get their child evaluated to see if she has subluxation and get adjusted if necessary. So there's never an adjustment. And then she ends up developing ear infections. So what do y'all think the most common treatment is for ear infections?
Tubes in the ear.
Well, that's later, but the first thing they do is give you antibiotics, right? Even though a study by the British Medical Journal showed that a 20-year study that antibiotics didn't make any difference with ear infections, because they're viral, typically, in nature, and antibiotics don't do anything for that. But then, because of that treatment, what do you think happens to her gut microbiome? It gets destroyed. So then that affects her, not only her gut health, but now her immune system health, because 70-80% of your immune system is located in the gut. Okay, so then she starts to school, and they say, oh, Sally's got ADHD, and she's now going to need to be medicated for that. And so now for the rest of her career in academia, she struggles, and she doesn't learn as well as she should. Okay, and so she, what do you think the chances are that she's going to end up with other health conditions throughout her life? Let me give you the opposite scenario, Faith. And I know this one is true because this is my daughter I'm talking about. She was born at 28 weeks developed in the NICU hospital over in Conroe. She spent the first 62 days of her life in intensive care in NICU. She weighed 2 pounds when she was born. At one point, she actually weighed a little bit under 2 pounds after she was born. She was a twin. My son Samuel was born with her. He was there 73 days in NICU. So Faith goes through that whole experience. Then she comes home, and of course, I'm her dad, and her mother is a nutrition health coach. And so guess what? We did the same thing we do with all of our clients and patients and all of our other children. I adjusted her. We watched her nutrition, and she never had any ear infections. She never had any antibiotics, and she's never had, well, she's had all the vaccines that have been proven to be safe and effective. 0. Okay, so she never had any of that. Okay, so Faith never had ADHD. She never had any learning disabilities or delay. Faith, she did pretty well on her SATs, 1200, and then she, that's pretty good if you study that kind of stuff. And then she went to college and graduated there. Now she's in her master's program in music. All I'm saying is that with information, you can make better decisions. Every parent, every person makes the best decisions they can based on the information that they have. The reason I'm here tonight is to give you information that you may not have, so that you can make the best decision regarding your health and your family's health. Amen? So, I would say, people ask me about Detox or Die. Well, I got that title from Dr. Sherry Rogers. Dr. Sherry Rogers is a medical doctor who was trained conventionally until she got sick and almost died. And to recover herself, she discovered natural and functional medicine and started practicing that. And she wrote a book on this over 20 years ago called Detoxify or Die. So that's where I got the title from. But it should have been this: Detox or die prematurely, because we all die.
Right.
We're all facing that, right? That's what the Bible says, okay? It says, wherefore as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, so wherefore death has passed upon all men, for all have sinned. But it's how and when you die that's important. Do y'all agree with that?
Yes.
And so that's what we're going to really talk about tonight, because I do believe, and I know for a fact, Dr. Crooks, am I telling the truth, that our environment is becoming more toxic every day?
It sure is.
There's over 50,000 new chemicals in our environment today, 50,000 more than there was in World War II. Since World War II, 50,000 increase in chemicals in our environment. So it's in the air you breathe, it's in the water you drink, it's in the food that you eat, it's getting on your skin, it's everywhere, okay? So all different kinds of things. So I do think that this subject tonight is one of the reasons why we have so many chronic health issues and health conditions. And so we're going to help you with that tonight, okay? We're going to help you learn how to decrease your load. When I say toxic load, the amount of toxins coming into your body, and we're going to help you learn how to eliminate these, and we're going to really help you figure out where I'm at in this process and what my next step is, okay? All right, so I want to start with that first question. Where do you think the number one source of toxins, or the most common or greatest amount of toxins, are coming into our body at?
Sugar and food.
Sugar, food. Those are great answers, and I am in agreement with you, but I think that's probably number two for the average American. Now, I'd say if you count every single American, you're probably right, but I'm going to say if you take an average, the average American that eats the standard American diet, which is very sad, that follows the conventional medical system, the number one source of the toxins that is in that body is coming from the drugs they take.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I got a list right here of the top 10 drugs in America right now that are being sold. Does anybody know what the top drug is? No, now that's over the counter. Now I'm talking about prescription drugs, but you're right. Ibuprofen's up there. Tylenol is even higher, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But I'm talking about prescription drugs.
Narcotics, I just took last month. I was about to die.
That's in the top 10, but it's not the number one. Gabapentin, by the way, is number 9 now. I can't believe it. It's number 9. It's already moved up into that. What were you saying?
Penicillin, amoxicillin.
Nope, that's down there. It's in the top 10, but it's not number 1.
Codeine.
No, it's up there too. It's on here. I don't know exactly where it's at, but it's not number 1. Lipitor, statin drugs, number 1. You know what statin drugs are? Lower your cholesterol drugs.
Oh my God.
Now, I'm going to show you something here, and you're getting a copy of this when you leave today. I got a packet put together for y'all. So some of the things I'm going to fill in for you tonight. The others I'm going to go over, and I'm going to give you a copy of this. This is the different drug classifications and the nutrient deficiencies and depletion that is caused from the drug. So Lipitor, what do you think Lipitor affects in your body that your body needs in order to keep yourself healthy? It affects CoQ10. CoQ10 is a nutrient that's essential for heart health and nerve health. Did you know that taking Lipitor or any statin drug would increase your risk of neuropathy 1,600 times? 1,600% increase. 1,600% increase in the risk of neuropathy with taking a statin drug, because it depletes CoQ10. And there's some other reasons as well. Number 2 on the list, metformin.
Oh.
Blood sugar problems. Guess what? Metformin depletes it depletes folate, B vitamin, and also B12. Folate and B12, essential for good brain health, essential for nerve health, so more neuropathy issues, okay? And guess what else? Essential for running detoxification systems I'm about to go through. So now you take a drug that's a toxin, it's chemicals, got to be cleaned out of the body, and now also you're depleting nutrients that you need in order to detoxify your body. Lose-lose situation. You understand how this thing can snowball in a hurry? So now you begin to accumulate toxins into your body. You can't eliminate them because your drug is preventing you from having the nutrients that you need to do that. And plus, you still got to get rid of the drug itself. And we go down the list. Levothyroxine is on here. We've got lisinopril. That's on the list here. So lisinopril depletes zinc, which is critical for your immune system. CoQ10 is also critical for cardiovascular health and energy. By the way, let me say this. Inside the vessel, okay, you have an artery. Inside an artery, on this inner lining of the artery, it's called the tunica intima. This lining right here, okay, gets damaged by free radicals or toxins that are in your body, okay? So these are could be chemicals coming into the body or something made inside the body like homocysteine. But it causes damage into this intima, this lining of this vessel right here. And in this lining of vessel is where something's made called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is what's necessary to make the vessel open up. So now you got a double whammy because you got an injury to the vessel, then your body's going to take cholesterol and to heal this, and your doctor's going to tell you that cholesterol is the problem. But cholesterol is not the problem, it's actually fixing the problem. The problem is you got damage to your artery because of free radicals going on inside your body. And so now, not only do you have this closed down vessel, okay, because of the healing patch, but you also got less nitric oxide to keep the vessel dilated. Now you get constriction, you got more cardiovascular risk. And this happens with elevated blood sugar in particular, and with some of these drugs that we're talking about here. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. That's why I said, okay, so the number one thing is, why do we take drugs? Because we have some type of symptom or condition that we don't know what else to do about. And that's why I'm here tonight, is to give you some different options on how to deal with some of the problems that we have, and how do we also handle some of the toxic load that we can't get away from. Okay? Y'all still with me? Mm-hmm. Tylenol. Remember I said Tylenol? Did you know that 50% of acute liver failure in the U.S. is caused from Tylenol? 50%. And that's over 1,600 cases. Did you know there's somewhere between 50,000 and 80,000 emergency room visits because of Tylenol? Did you also know that about 450 to 500 deaths occur because of Tylenol? And then lastly, let me say 20% of all liver transplants in the U.S. occur because of Tylenol. Tylenol is supposed to be considered one of the safest drugs, right? And then what about these GLP-1 drugs? Y'all heard about these? Somebody mentioned one, Ozempic or Mounjaro. I think it said Ozempic, okay? We don't know much about these drugs yet, but here's what we do know. Studies are coming out. This is on over 1 million patients. This was 1.2, almost 1.3 million patients studied. Is that taking these GLP-1 drugs like Mounjaro and like Ozempic, and these increased your risk. It was associated with a higher risk of bladder cancer and also with kidney cancer, and lastly, prostate cancer. So, what do we do about this? Okay, so we have to, number one, we have to begin to improve our ability, our body's ability to detoxify. Your body detoxifies in phases, okay? We have phase 1, 2, and 3. Okay, there's different nutrients that are necessary in each one of these phases. These occur in different parts of the body. This first phase happens by an enzyme primarily called P450. Okay, now this enzyme is critical for helping us to run this initial detoxification pathway. All right, and what kind of nutrients does it need? Well, it needs antioxidants and flavonoids. What are antioxidants? Well, things like vitamin C, okay, like zinc, like some of this quercetin and other things that we get out of a lot of our fruits and vegetables in particular, right? And sometimes we supplement with these. It needs those B vitamins that we talked about. And it needs something called glutathione. Anybody ever heard of glutathione before? Yeah, of course you have. Of course you do. You've been working with Rhonda, that's why, okay? Guilty, okay. She's already learned this. She's already working on this. Glutathione is your number one antioxidant your body makes. Okay, it's made in the liver to help you neutralize the free radicals. Remember, they were causing cardiovascular damage and other types of cell damage in your body. So glutathione is critical. Other amino acids and things are well. Phase 2, this is where you're going to need things, now really heavy nutrient dependent. This is primarily occurring with things like NAC, which is N-acetylcysteine, okay? This is a precursor to glutathione. Glutathione is also needed here. Magnesium is needed. B vitamins are needed. Let's see, we also have choline. We have amino acids we talked about. And then phase 3 is your elimination. So what does that mean? Okay, I've got to be able to bind it and eliminate it. These things are about converting it to either a safer form or from a fat soluble to a water soluble form so it can be eliminated out of the body. Okay? Now I've got to eliminate it. This is going to, what kind of things are going to assist in this? Fiber. You notice one of the questions on your toxic was, what's your fiber intake? And I said, do you have a high fiber diet? Well, probably not. Most people don't get enough fiber. Okay, what's enough fiber? Well, if you look at the standard American diet, they'll tell you if you get 30 or 40 grams of fiber, you're doing great, right? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, that's not enough. Well, and how do you know? Well, let me give you an example. How much fiber, there's an avocado is very fibrous dense. How much fiber is in an avocado? Approximately 9 grams. You know what you need to have good detoxification and a healthy body to support your microbiome, the bacteria in your gut? You need to have a minimum 50 to 60 grams per day. 50 to 60 grams per day. Okay? So fiber is critical because that protects your microbiome. Okay, your microbiome is your probiotics in your gut, right? Which is also responsible for detoxification and elimination here. And then also you got to have a lot of H2O. You got to have a lot of water intake. Okay, you got to be well hydrated. So these are all things that are necessary for this detoxification pathway to occur. And what's the problem? Well, the problem is that our body's probably not operating and detoxifying on the highest level. And because of that, it's down and our toxic load in our environment's way up. That's a bad combination. Do y'all see what I'm saying? We got more toxins to deal with and we got less nutrients to deal with them. Yes, problem, right? Okay, so let's talk about now your sheet that I've got there for you, okay? And let's go through some of these things together here. Let's go over. So there, I gave you 3 things here that you can do that will tremendously help your detoxification, right? Okay, so number 1, we just nailed it. Increase your fiber intake. Okay? Increase your fiber intake. So it's a binding agent. It supports the microbiome. That's going to help you do that, okay? So where's your main source of fiber? Vegetables and some fruit, okay? That's your main source. The more colors you get in, the more different types. The colors are actually, a lot of the times why there's color in a vegetable is because the phytonutrients that are in it, which are also part of those antioxidants that we talked about that we need to help detox. So really good, yes.
Do they have to be organic in order to help?
We're getting there. No, not for this. Fiber is good. Your other things are good. You're still going to get a lot of good nutrients, a lot of good fiber from a chemical grown vegetable.
Okay.
But the problem is that you're going to take your fiber up, but you're also going to take your toxins out. So remember, we're approaching this from both sides. We're approaching this from what can I do to help my body eliminate it, and then we're approaching from how can I get it lower. So I'm going to come back to that question, okay? So lots of vegetables. Number 2, sweat. Sweat. That's easy to do in Houston, Texas, isn't it? I mean, in summertime, it's fully hot, just get outside, okay? Just go anywhere. But we do need to sweat. You know, look, It doesn't make good sense to go to the gym and try to avoid sweating. Okay, no, you want to sweat. You want to get outside some. You need to do some things that help you eliminate. And one of the ways we do that is through sweating. Okay, some things are eliminated only through that pathway. Okay, so saunas are good. Getting outside is really great. Getting sunlight at the same time. Getting some fresher air, hopefully. Those are all good things about sweating. And then lastly is walking. Why does walking help us detoxify? Well, because when we walk, we activate our lymphatic system. Our lymphatic system helps us move things through the body to get them to the liver so the liver can do its work and eliminate it out. When we're sedentary, hard to move those toxins out of the body. Okay, you got to walk, you got to drink water, and you need to get good fiber intake. Those are 3 essentials to good detoxification. Okay? Now, how are we going to cut our load down? Let's talk about that. All right, so let's go ahead and hit the first one. Eat organic as much as you can. Okay, as much as you can. Now, I'm going to tell you right now. So, number 1 on that is eat organic as much as you can. Okay. Now, Dr. Crooks was sharing with me today that study, and matter of fact, I think it's actually in your packet that I've got for you. You'll get this, okay? That one of the pesticides, I think it was a pesticide, right, Doc, that was used, was that what that was?
Banned in 2011?
Yeah, stopped in 2011. They banned it in 2011 because it was destroying people's acetylcholine production. Acetylcholine is essential for your memory, by the way. Okay, also for your autonomic nervous system, which means your organs. Okay, and so it was affecting people's brain and nervous system, so they cut it out. They got rid of it in 2011. And what year was that? It was this year, last year, right? Yeah. 2024, maybe 2025. They found that on vegetables. Now it hasn't been produced; it's been banned for over a decade, but it's still being found on vegetables. So some of these things are absolutely hard to get out of our environment. So what I'm saying is, it won't fix everything, eating organic, but it'll fix a lot of stuff, okay? It'll help you tremendously if you can eat organic. Number 2, handle your health situations without drugs. Work hard to cut your drug load. It's so sad when I see patients come in and their drug list is this long. And I'm not kidding. 7, 8, 9, and more. Talking about double-digit drug people are taking how in the world? Nobody knows what all those chemicals are doing inside your body once they mix together. There's no possible way. No study has ever been done on any 3 drugs that mix together, much less 7, 8, or 9. Okay, so if you can cut your drug load, that would help tremendously, right? And so how do we do that? Well, we got to get healthier, right? And we got to find natural options here to get those down. And so we're willing to help you work on that. Processed food. Cut out the processed food. You know why it's able to sit on the shelf for a year or more? Because of a lot of chemicals. If there's a lot of names on the back, Sylvia, of the food package that you're looking at that you can't pronounce, just skip on it, okay? It's like, no, I ain't never seen that in my refrigerator. No, just get rid of that, okay? If it's something you don't recognize as food, it's probably not. It's a chemical that's in there, okay? Packaged and processed foods are going to be high in chemicals. And then what about the chemicals we use outside our house? In particular, weed killer, ant killer, all these other things that we use to control things. You know how they do that? How do they kill the weeds? Because they're poisonous. And actually, you know what the glyphosate does? This is interesting, okay? The glyphosate actually attacks the bacteria in the plant. That's how it kills them. So when it goes into you, guess what it does to your bacteria that's in your gut trying to protect you? It kills it. Yeah, that's what it's designed to do. Yeah, that's obvious. So that's a big one. Other chemicals, you know, that we use to kill things also affect us. Okay, it might not kill us, today, but it will weaken us, and it will eventually take its toll, okay? And then, let's see, what about our cleaners inside the house? Chemical cleaners inside the house. This is a big problem. There was a study done. I don't have this. I didn't think to look for it today. It's been years since I've looked at it. But they said that people that do house clean for a living had a higher risk of cancers because of the chemical cleaners that they use, okay? So natural cleaners are best. You know, there's a lot of good natural things that can be used to clean. Things like peroxide, things like alcohol, and things like that. They're a lot more natural without chemicals can be used in a lot of these places. And there's a lot of natural cleaners out there today, and they're good, and they're pretty good stuff. That's what we use and have for a long time. And then what about this one right here? Okay. You asked me to address this. I'm going to address it. How about plastic? Plastic is a problem, right? Because we live in a plastic world. Everything. Plastic's so wonderful. Except for the fact that it's a chemical that leaches into whatever's in the plastic and then eventually ends up inside your body, and then you got to try to get rid of it, right? Okay? So the worst thing about plastic is if we keep things in it or have hot stuff in it, okay? So, can I tell you the one that's absolutely the worst? Worse than plastic? Styrofoam.
Yeah, that's that.
Styrofoam. Okay.
It melts.
Yeah, don't even bring that stuff into your house. It's like, I love coffee. I drink coffee, okay? But if I go someplace and it's styrofoam cups, I'll just pass. Okay, I don't like it that much. Okay, I'm sorry. I can do without it. So avoid the styrofoam. Avoid the plastic. So what about plastic water bottles? Do I drink out of plastic water bottles? Rarely. Okay, I rarely do that. Now we go like sometimes. I don't even do this, but sometimes if I'm going somewhere and maybe I'm out on the boat or something, then I might have plastic water bottle occasionally. But I try my best to keep it from getting any hotter than it has already, okay? So limit that a little bit and try to get glass when you can, okay? And try to take your own stainless steel containers and use those as much as possible, okay? So let's go through this again, all right? So we're decreasing our drug load, right? We're also trying to decrease our pesticide load by eating more organic, okay? We're also lowering our processed food, because that's chemicals come in a lot. You named it, you killed it, Lisa, you're right, about through our food. And that's the number one place. Avoid the chemicals outside the home, avoid the cleaners inside the home, avoid plastic and styrofoam. And let me give you maybe one more and maybe a bonus, okay? What about the stuff that we put on our body through our skin? Sunscreens, lotions, cosmetics. Are these things natural, or do they have a lot of petroleum-based products, a lot of benzene ring products? These are very toxic as well, and that's a big issue. And let me give you a little bonus right here and on top of that. Okay, watch your skincare. Get natural skincare products as much as you can. Okay, let me give you a bonus here. Heavy metals. Heavy metals. You know what heavy metals are? Things like mercury and lead and these type of things, right? Okay. Where's our greatest source of these coming from? Two places. Number one, any amalgam fillings we have in our mouth. Those can be a big issue, okay? That can be a mercury issue. And the other one is farmed fish. Be careful about farmed fish. So if you're going to have fish, you try to get wild caught fish, okay? Here's the difference. Studies showed that one fillet of salmon, just one serving, farm raised, 36 micrograms of mercury in that. Your body has the ability to eliminate about 36 grams of that per week if you're healthy and a good detox system. Now, you got other exposures, you sure don't want to be taking all you can get rid of, even if you're healthy, in one meal, right? Versus a wild caught, which had about 6 micrograms compared to 36, that's a huge difference, okay? So be careful about our farm raised things. And the reason is, you know what that means, anytime we raise something outside of its natural environment, we always increase the toxins. You understand? It's like with beef, okay? What are cows designed to eat?
Grass.
Grass, thank you, not grain. Okay, but if you go to the grocery store and you buy the beef that's there, and it's going to be fed corn and grains and other things, and those can even have some laces of some of these pesticides and chemicals, and then on top of that, sometimes some heavy metals in there. So we want to try to get them as close to their natural environment, eating their natural diet as possible. They're going to be the healthiest. Okay, so grass-fed obviously is always best, and wild caught fish is best. Okay, now here's what I want to leave you with. The last question on there says, what are you waiting for to get your detox process started? You did start already, and you started today, and y'all both starting next week, okay? So you guys, and you're already on this path, okay? The rest of us, you're on this path, okay? The rest of us need to say, what am I going to wait on? Am I going to wait until my doctor says I'm in phase 3 kidney failure? Because if you're waiting on your doctor to tell you, that's when it's going to happen. Phase 3 kidney failure. When your GFR drops below 60, he's going to finally take notice, okay? Because your GFR is your glomerular filtration rate. And that means how much is your kidney able to filtrate. Optimal is over 90, okay? When you drop under 90, they're not going to say a word, okay? They're going to wait till it drops and drops and drops, and then when it gets down to phase 3, level 3, then they're going to say, oh, hey, you're developing chronic kidney disease. And I had a patient recently this happened to. Reason why? Everything we just talked about. He was diabetic. He wasn't, he was taking drugs because of that. He was loading up his toxic load. All these things began to happen. He came in to see me. His GFR was 54. 54. So we started working with him nutritionally to try to rebuild that. And thank God he went through it, took it seriously. He lost how much weight did Daniel lose? 30, 40 pounds?
Yep.
30 or 40 pounds he lost. He looks great. He's doing wonderful. He went back and got his test redone. His doctor was like, whoa. It's like, because that doesn't hardly happen. You know, it doesn't go back that direction. You know, it only goes downhill from here. And they're like, went from 54 to 77? He's like, what? Keep doing whatever you're doing. What was he doing? Well, he was detoxifying his system. He was rebuilding his detox system. He was lowering his load. He got his diabetes under control. He got off his drugs, okay? And all of it started to come back. Thank God. Now, he's not a young man. He's in his 60s, and it's still recovering. So it's never too late. But don't wait till you're at that point, okay? If you're not already working with us nutritionally, that tonight's the night, because I'm doing a special offer tonight. Did you pass out the form, please? Would you give that to them? Let everybody see that, and because this offer, normally what I do to evaluate this is a 2-day process, okay? It's going to include some home